Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Book Entrepreneur. Today we have Jonathan Harrison here with us. He's basically having the job, and then on top of that, he's got the business as well. He's been running it since 2013, and he's got a very interesting story when it comes to coaching because he's specifically focused on how video games are actually helping people. So. Jonathan, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And Tony, thanks for having me. Looking forward to giving value any way that I can here. My background is in training and development. And so, in terms of kind of like my origin story and how I got here, I found that going back, before 2013, I was wanting to blog, I was wanting to write, I was wanting to share ideas. And I had this idea of starting up a business and doing reviews and doing some consulting and helping out clients outside of my day job. And I realized there were a lot of people out there doing similar things. And I sat down at my kitchen counter and I thought to myself, how do I separate myself? How do I look for things that I care about and look at a view I have that's unique? And I thought about one of my big hobbies, which is playing video games. And I started thinking, like, so, I enjoy video games. Is there a way I can make that part of my work? And I didn't want to do video game reviews. I'm not a programmer. I didn't want to get paid to stream video games. That wasn't my idea. I wanted to use games to make work more successful, more fun, more enjoyable. And so I started looking for ways they connect. And very quickly, I wrote down an entire page of different ideas of where I thought video games also could help people win in their jobs or in their business. And so the rest is kind of history. I launched a podcast, I launched a book. I was asked to do a TED talk on the topic, looking at how video game success strategies work in the real world. And I haven't looked back. I've continued doing that. In fact, I've even recently released a book sharing stories that other people have had where they found ways that video games have helped them in their jobs. And that's across many different industries. So that's how I got to where I am today.
Very nice. Yeah. So can you tell us some examples of how video games are helping?
Yeah, I think one of the great ways we think about games keep us focused. And a lot of video games, you're given a very clear task or very specific condition to win. And when we show up in business, one of the things that's overwhelming for entrepreneurs is there's so many different things we could be doing. It's hard to know where to focus. And I think if we approach our business or if we approach even our workplace as if it was a game, we have to get really clear on what's the most important thing here, what's going to matter, what's going to make the biggest difference if I'm successful here or not. And then, of course, there are other pieces that apply. In video games, we talk about side quests. These are different ways to add value to a business or to a job or to your life, but they don't always move the overall target forward. And so there's always that sense of how am I spending my time? Is it on what matters most, or is it on these things that might be fun, but sometimes they're just a distraction? And so that's one way I've seen an important lesson we can take away from video games and apply to our business and to our life.
Totally, yes. And then obviously, how are you actually helping your clients with this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have several different strategies and different ways I approach this. One of them is thinking about what makes games successful. A lot of them are fun to play. We hear a lot of talk about gamification, right? Which is this idea where we can take these ideas from video games and put them over top of the workplace to make work more fun or to make a business more engaging or to involve our customers and our clients in a way that feels rewarding, right? The trick about that is that for us to really get that benefit from a game, you have to want to play. And too many times I find that people, whether it's business leaders or whether it's a department head, they're trying to make something fun or enjoyable. They're trying to get buy-in, but they've never stopped to ask, do the people on my team actually want to play the game I'm trying to sell them on? And that could be an actual game, or in this case, it's a metaphor, right? Whenever we roll out a change initiative, whenever we're trying to send out a new product or produce a new service of some kind, we want other people to be in the game. We want them to play with us. And so we really have to make sure that they want to play to begin with. Otherwise, we find that when we try to force that on others, people disconnect, or in worst cases, they begin to sabotage or they work against whatever it is we're trying to accomplish. And so that's the big question I like to take back to the workplace is what's the game we're trying to play? And does everyone want to play? And if they don't, we need to have some conversations, right? We need to talk and we need to figure out what is it that matters most to those people, then how do we connect with them and how do we serve them best?
Totally. And then on top of that, like, can you tell us a little bit more about your book as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So my newest one is called If Video Games Have Taught Me Anything. And it's a collection of interviews where I've interviewed 80 different people. Some of them are entrepreneurs, CEOs, business owners. Some are musicians or famous actors or celebrities or even Olympic athletes. So, I mean, I could mention a few names, but the point is people from all walks of life have found ways to take a lesson from a game. And so my book highlights the individual, highlights the lesson they've learned, and then it gives a very specific way that you and I can take these lessons and apply them in our life. And it's really written for a group of people that would be more familiar with the games or the individuals that I'm interviewing. So some of the names that are in the book include Ice-T, rapper and actor, Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, we have the comedian Aquafina. And so individuals like that who have popular recognition also enjoy games, but they're busy. They've got a lot going on and they still find ways to take some lessons. And I hope to share those with others who maybe have never thought about how we're learning all the time as long as we're paying attention.
Yes, absolutely. That's true. We're learning all the time for sure. And then, so what's your plan for your business for next 1 year?
Well, obviously, with a new book launch, a lot is going to be centered around promotion of the book. This is going to involve speaking events. It's going to involve a lot of online presence and social media. I have a lot of lines out right now where I'm doing follow-up interviews with people that appear in the book. And so I can't give names or dates just yet. That's a little hush hush. But that's one of the ways I'm looking to spread the word. So right now, a lot of it is about the book marketing. Now, in the background, there is still some consulting business going on. There are still some organizations that I'm working with to help them in their leadership development approach. And so that's another way that I like to support organizations is through helping them build strength in their new leaders, their mid-level leadership. Because I find that a lot of mid-level leadership in organizations don't get as much support as they probably need. And so that's an area that I really focus on a lot. So that's what my upcoming year is going to be looking like.
Absolutely. So we have like in the audience, obviously, a lot of entrepreneurs that are actually playing games on a daily basis and stuff. What piece of advice you can give them if they're thinking about how they can actually use those skills from the games in their business?
That is such a great question. I love that one. So what I would recommend is think about your favorite games. Think about what is it that you like about them? Why do you enjoy playing them? And dig a little deeper into that question. And so maybe it's because you are a fan of a sports game. So if you like FIFA or if you like, the NBA, you might have an affiliation for something that exists outside, and that's a fandom. And so think about ways that your business can mirror that. How can you incorporate elements of fandom into the business that you have in a way that allows your clients and allows your customers to feel like they're part of something bigger? But maybe if you like games that are tactical or strategic, there's something behind there that scratches an itch for you. And so when you go into your business, when you go into your whatever it is you're looking to do, whether it's a service or a product, think about ways that you can make your approach, I like to call them your superpowers, right? Your power ups. In video games, we have different abilities that let us do things that maybe are impossible in the real world. Well, what is your superpower? Maybe you're detail oriented. Maybe you are good at predicting next steps in a process. Whatever it is that you're enjoying about a game, look for ways to make more of that happen in your work. And so ask your question, if my business, if me leading this business was a game, what would make the game more fun? And look for ways to put that to use right away. And I think that's something all of us can do even as soon as we're done listening here.
Yeah, totally. And if someone wants to actually get in touch with you, learn more about you, or connect to you, how they can do that?
Yeah. My website's probably the best way to do that. My website is JohnD Harrison.com. And so I have links to my books, information about the consulting work that I do, whether it's workshops, speaking events, or even individualized coaching. But definitely links to the book are out there. And you can find it on Amazon and Barnes and Noble right now. It's called If Video Games Have Taught Me Anything.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, definitely. So before we go, if there is any like piece of advice, any question that I didn't ask you, anything else you would like to share with our audience, yeah, tell us now, please.
Yeah. The one thing that I like to put out there, and I want to remind everyone, is we need to be continuously asking our question of ourselves, which is, why do I do what I do and who's it for? Right? And we need to make sure those two exist in alignment. Because if the reason I'm writing a book is to get more speaking events, then I need to align my activities to make sure that my end audience, the people I want to speak for, are going to get that value and that both of us will walk away feeling fulfilled. Where we get into trouble sometimes is when we have misalignment, where we have a strong purpose, we really believe in something, and we believe in it so much we forget what our client or customer needs. Or when we go the other direction, where we're so chasing after clients and customers and what their needs are, we lose a sense of why we started doing what we're doing in the first place. And so those are two sides of an equation. And I'm not huge into math. I don't love math, but I know one thing: when you're doing algebra, equations have to balance. And so you need balance on both sides of that equation. Why am I doing it? And who's it for? And so that would be the one thing that I always find the need to stay on top of, because it's so easy to drift away from, but it makes the biggest difference for me in everything I do.
Hmm. I think that's such a good point. We could call this episode like that, So fantastic, Jonathan. Thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. If you liked it, drop us a like, subscribe, and also if you have any questions for Jonathan or me, you can ask them in the comments, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. See you all in the next episode. All the best, and bye bye.